smash that record. And what you drinking there?
I got a little it's called Element. Have you ever heard of it?
No, is that like an
It's
electrolyte powder thing?
yeah, it's a sugar-free one instead of like the liquid IV, like Joe Rogan always is, just super loaded. It's really, really good. They make two spicy flavors too. They make a mango chili and a lemon habanero that are fucking awesome. Well, hold on, I'm gonna take this off really quick.
Woo! We should charge extra for that on this one. Get the viewers, man. Get the viewers. Yeah, I found I found some stuff on Amazon that was just reviewed really well.
Yeah.
Also sugar free.
Nice.
I don't know how good it is. I like it. I also like snake juice, which is just sodium, magnesium, and potassium.
That's all this is.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And boron, I think, is in there.
I feel like they just wanted that one to sound more sciencey.
Exactly.
Like no one fucking cares about
throw that
boron.
in there. Yeah, just throw that in there. It's oh yeah, that sounds like I need that. I don't ever get boron in my normal diet. I need that boron. Yeah, dude. Guess what I'm doing right after this?
You're gonna go lift weights.
Yes, exactly right, motherfucker.
Fuck yeah.
About fucking time. Gym opened up, 10 people at a time. Got to sign up in advance.
Yep.
Book a 2-hour block. Wear your mask the entire time.
Yep.
I will start where I left off fucking 8 months ago with hybrid performance light.
Nice.
For fuck's sake. I'm a little resentful still that they charged me for the whole 3 months. Like when the pandemic happened, but
I did literally the exact same thing. It's like, can I like cancel this or nope?
They're like, no, fuck you.
Yep, pretty much. Okay, Steffi.
Exactly. I should have just hit her up on IG. I should have just created an IG account just to hit her up and just be like, at Steffi Cohen. Pandemic hit, can't do any of the stuff I signed up for. It's still going to charge me for 3 months. Cool. Sounds legit. Doesn't sound like a scam at all.
1 star.
What? So I'm gonna go do that. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that, and I'm pretty excited. I haven't touched a barbell in a long time. So,
dude, your poor hands.
They're still calloused up.
Are they?
Yeah, they're still calloused up from.
I guess you have like a pull-up bar and kettlebell and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they haven't completely. When I see my calluses, like in like a whole one, like just comes off like naturally and doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I need to like do some yard work or some shit. I'm becoming a bitch by the second. Like, look at this. My hands are bitchifying as we speak.
There was I ripped this one wide open a few weeks ago when I was deadlifting. And someone was like, dude, there's nothing wrong with wearing gloves. I'm like, fuck you. Yes, there is.
Absolutely.
There's so many things wrong with wearing gloves.
I don't know what to tell you, man, but the fact that you said that made me realize that I don't really need to listen to anything else that you're going to say after that. The only acceptable reason to wear gloves is if I'm a fucking surgeon and I'm going to put on some latex gloves to do some surgery. That's it. Oh, your hands are cold? Fuck you. Suck it up. I'm just joking, obviously. I'm just fucking around. But yeah, for lifting weights, the fuck out of here. Oh, do your hands hurt? Oh, does it hurt when you grip the metal bar with your hands? Oh, suck it up. Build the calluses, and then it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yep.
Good metaphor for life. Don't ask for a lighter weight. Ask to get stronger. Like, Jesus, fuck. Anyway,
I think we can just leave it there. Anyone who's sufficiently bitchy enough can just.
I almost just swallowed and choked on my gum. I feel like that was karma coming to get me. But yeah, I have my 64-ounce jug filled with electrolyte stuff.
Nice.
Ready to go. Had a really big dinner, so I didn't have any breakfast because I was still like full from fucking dinner.
Yep.
Took a giant dump. I'm gonna go out there and lift like 1/4 of the weights that I'm used to lifting.
It comes back so fast, though. You'll be fine.
I also tweaked my back doing literally nothing. And so we'll see
dude,
how that feels. Yeah.
That's the only times I've ever like gotten actually injured was doing either really lightweight, like a warm up or a cool down, or doing fucking nothing.
Makes sense, because it's like my body is like, oh, okay, you can just move like not like healthily, no problem. This is like just picking up this little tiny ass thing. Oh, never mind.
Dude, I tweaked my back laying in bed a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Like I like turned my torso before my legs turned or something like that. And I got to lay there for like 30 minutes after that. It was great.
So we've got a hard stop at 10:15.
Okay.
Because I've got to be on time to this appointment, the gym appointment that I have now. So let's get into it.
Yeah, brother.
Tell me about your week.
Yep. Start the day with journaling, and still the same format on that. I found that one works really, really well for me. I really enjoy it. And then I shower and I meditate and try to take the dog for a walk. She's getting there. Have some breakfast, then make my coffee, get rocking and rolling on some work stuff. Work's actually been pretty fun the last couple of weeks. I'm like actually making things that are directionally interesting.
No more SDKs.
Oh no, I'm still in SDK land, but it's just at least it's more like implementation. Like I'm building stuff with the SDK so people know how to build stuff with it. So at least I'm making things and like making examples.
You are now eating your own dog food.
Yep. At Alteryx, they don't like to say dog food. They say drinking your own champagne.
That's exactly what we do as well at Influx. We don't like saying the dog food because no one wants to eat dog food.
Yep.
But people are, I guess, more. I feel like drinking your own champagne, like there's only so much that you can do there.
Yep. Yeah, I don't really love either analogy.
It's like eating our own steak. There we go. Why don't we do that? Why does it have to be dog food? I don't know. Anyway, we have weird sayings in tech. Okay.
Yes, we do.
So getting some, like enjoying some of that.
Yep. And then a couple times a week I go to Jiu-Jitsu when I can, which is fucking awesome. I just wish I could.
Super spreader Jordan rolling around with other dudes face to face. I see how
it's funny. I've become one of the favorite people for the girls to roll with too, because I'm a dude who's not an asshole about it the whole time.
What do you mean?
Like a lot of dudes when they're rolling with chicks, like they kind of dial it back, but they kind of don't, and it's kind of ridiculous.
So they just fucking dominate them.
A lot of the time, yeah.
Yeah, is that the issue? It's like you kind of like get to their level, basically.
Yeah, it's like I dial my strength back so far that I like have to only play technique with them.
Yeah.
So
you make it more you make it challenging for them, but doable
and challenging for me, because it's like a dude, I'm just gonna like manhandle you.
For sure.
I can't play that game with them. So I actually roll with I'm not gay. Okay, I roll with a lot of girls. It's fine.
I don't know, man. Any guy who is just into BJJ. First off, it's called BJJ.
Yeah, it's the worst name. It's the worst name.
Yeah, I had when I was in wrestling in high school, I had a guy who was in the heavyweight class, and he just would never give 100%. It was so frustrating. He would just like, I'm like, dude, can you fucking try? Like, I'm gonna fight people who are actually fucking wanting to like murder me, and you're just like rolling over. This is not helping at all. Anyway.
There's a couple guys I roll with who are like 300, 350 pounds. And they just pancake me, which I would actually prefer. Like, I don't want them to just flop around.
No, it's not fun.
No, make me work for it.
I like the challenge. Again, it's the rules, right? It's those restrictions that make it. If I'm just a god, like doing whatever I want at all times, it's like, this is boring, man.
Yeah. I mean, even like, it's funny, even in the video games I play, I feel that way now. It's like Doom was fucking awesome for like a week or two. And it's like, okay, this really isn't like, I'm all powerful.
Well,
I really
that's why
like.
they have other modes, man. It's
Well,
like,
that's true.
yeah, and it's like that's why that last boss battle where they just automatically brought me to like an easier one when I went in there. I was like, this isn't even fun now. I can just like stand still and shoot at him, and this is boring.
Yeah, I beat it on the first try when they gave me the super suit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I can't. There.
Yeah.
I don't really feel. Hold on, I'm gonna close this. This is distracting. I have a window open. There we go. Okay. All right. Jiu-Jitsu, journaling,
and a lot of Japanese time. Like,
yeah,
a lot, which feels so good. It's like, it's to the point now where if I don't like hear several hours of it a day, whether it's in music or watching like TV or whatever, it actually feels really weird.
So you've just got it in the background while you're working.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
okay.
Like NHK has like easy news you can listen to. I found a bunch of like super crazy playlists
Easy
that are actually
news?
it's like they speak really slow and keep the topics like
cool.
pretty
okay,
like
basic. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. So it's like there was a dog who likes to ride a bike, and
kind of, yeah.
They went to the store, and
exactly.
He was happy.
Yep. It's like actual world news, but they format it.
They're not
right.
making up news. Yeah, I was trying to think of basic English.
Yeah, no, it's super basic. And it's, dude, NHK's programs for teaching like free Japanese courses are insane. Like really, really, really good for, especially for a government run
the
thing.
NH what? The what?
NHK. It's like
NHK?
the Japanese National Broadcasting. It's kind of like PBS for us.
Got it. Okay. And they do it for people to learn Japanese, or for like kids to learn Japanese?
No, for foreign people to learn.
Cool.
They have it's like the only website in Japan that wasn't built in like 1995 and like still looks the same. It's actually easy to use. So yeah, a lot of that. Terrace House.
Wait,
obviously.
That surprises me.
Oh, dude, their websites it's like all Flash still.
What?
Yeah, dude, that whole society is like still paper-based. Like,
really?
The vast majority of work that gets done is like fax and stamps and handwritten stuff.
Wow, that is not what I thought. That's crazy to me.
Dude, when
they also don't pay software engineers real money. They pay them garbage money.
Yeah, it's like a lower middle class job there.
That's so nuts.
But it's because they're developing fucking Flash websites, basically.
That's so crazy to me.
There's this whole do you know about the stamp system over there?
No.
So it's like you and I, like if we like sign a receipt, right? You just fucking sign it and call it a day. There, you get like a personalized stamp that you must have with you at all times for such things. And if you lose it, you're essentially fucked. Like you can't just order a replacement one. Because if your stamp changes, it's invalid.
I mean, that makes sense. I always thought when I was signing a receipt, I'm like, I could contest this so easily.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, these are just scribbles. This isn't my real signature. This is just nonsense. The only time I've signed like actual signatures is stuff that gets notarized.
Yep.
In which case there's someone validating that I am who I am anyway. So what they've, I guess, so it sounds like they've just taken notarization. And it's like, you don't need all these other parties involved. It's just this little stamp. But if you lose it, then you're fucked.
Yeah. There's a lot of really good like events on the various subreddits of people losing their stamp and like they're at the bank trying to withdraw cash or something. And they basically need to get like the president of the bank branch to come down and like assess the quality of their stamp, and no one knows what to do because it's like it's not the same. It's just
that's not. And what do you do as a foreigner to sign receipts?
You get your own stamp too.
What?
Yeah.
So when you travel to Japan, they're like, "Welcome to Japan."
Oh no, not as a tourist.
Here's
not
a stamp. Okay, okay. I'm like,
I thought you meant it's like once you go live there.
Everyone gets their own stamp.
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's super weird to me, but okay.
Yeah. Oh, right. COVID was super weird because like 75% of employees like can't do their job if paper's not involved.
That's so nuts. That surprises me. Okay. All right. So Japanese immersion.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool.
And cook some dinner, hang out, play some video games. All good things, man. House has been on the market for a week as of yesterday.
Congrats.
Thank you, sir. Tons of showings, not really any bites yet, which is fine. And trying to think what else. Yeah, it's been a good week. They all are, but it's been a good week.
Yeah. All right. Any blockers?
Any blockers? Yeah, it's funny. The only blocker's not really the right word, I guess. It's just amusing to see me go through, like, swing to the opposite end of the spectrum on some things. And I'm going to stop speaking in generalizations and I'll actually fill you in on what's happening. It's like going and hanging out with some buddies and like drinking a couple beers or whatever. Like, I actually enjoy it. The only reason I ever want to stop is it's like, oh, you're going to get fat. You're going to get soft. And I just don't really care anymore. Like, actually, objectively, it doesn't really matter to me anymore. But that script still comes up in various different ways.
Well, it's still there, right? It still does. Obviously, like, you're saying two contradictory things. You're saying, one, it doesn't bother me anymore, and then and then I go and then I have this voice in my head. Yeah.
It doesn't bother me to the point of like, oh, I need to go change everything now. It's like I hear that voice and then I can decide what to do with it.
Yeah. So what stage of that would you say you're at? So we have like the 4 stages of how kind of thoughts kind of change, right? Where I think like Shelby does a great job of outlining it. And for anyone who doesn't know who Shelby is just a fantastic nutrition coach, which kind of applies this kind of work that we do just directly to food and body.
Yep.
And the 4 stages are unconsciously incompetent, where it's just like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm doing a bunch of shit that doesn't feel very good.
Yep.
And then there's the consciously incompetent, which is, I know that I'm doing stuff that doesn't feel good, and I don't really know how to make that better. And then it's the like, all right, I know I'm doing stuff that doesn't feel good, and I'm aware of what that thing is, and I know kind of how I want to think about it.
Yep.
And it takes effort.
Yep.
And then there's the just crushing it and it's effortless. And that's the last stage where it's just like, I don't even think the thing in the first place. I just kind of feel pretty good.
Yeah, I would say specifically as it pertains to like just food, I'm going to say like a 3.25. I'm like almost unconsciously competent. Where a lot of the time I don't think about it anymore.
Well, and it's not like I get to a place and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, I could go for a month or two where I'm just like crushing it, feeling great. And then like a new weird scenario comes up and then, oh shoot, now I feel like I'm at a 2 with it. And that's a lot of folks get tripped up there and they're like, oh, look, it's just like it what blah, 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 back to square one. No. This is part of the process.
Yep.
It's like we're back to it feels like back to the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's like we talk about the upward spiral, right? And for anyone who doesn't know what that is like, so I start here and it looks like the way that I'm feels like I'm all the way back to my old patterns. Yeah. But if you've been practicing and doing this kind of work, what it is I'm going back up. And so let's say I start here, right? Like this position is where I'm not feeling so great. Actually, let me just share my screen.
I was going to say drawing this one works way better.
Works way better. Whiteboard share. All right. So let's say this is how it feels, right? So it feels like, oh, I'm improving. And then like there's an event and it feels like I'm back here.
Yep.
But what it really is like, I'm improving. I'm going do. And so like, if this is the feeling poopy point, right? I both have a wider breath and more time, right?
Yep.
And so I'm more experienced. I'm actually crushing it way more than I was here. There's tons of more volume. It's this cyclical upward expanding pattern of experience. assuming I'm doing the work.
Yep.
If that makes a little bit more sense. So while it may feel like, oh man, I'm back, no, false. I'm just back at that point where it's like, okay, I'm feeling the thing. What tools do I have in my toolkit that I know work for, I don't even want to say dealing with this particular feeling. And there's a bunch of them. Some, like a couple that are really great. One of my favorites and the simplest one, it's not the easiest one, but it's the simplest one, is just feeling it.
Yeah.
Just feel the thing, which is why I love meditation so much. It's like, just observe the thing happening. Just observe the emotion. So you're out there at the bar, as an example. I'm like, oh, that's the voice. Okay, all right. Yeah. I'm just gonna feel like that dread of like, oh my gosh, if I have beer number 3, I'm going to be a fat fucking slob with an old wife beater and mustard stain on myself and a lazy boy, right? And like Cheeto dust all over me and myself, right? It's like, oh my God. All right, well, let me just feel that thing. And something that like Sam Harris does really well and focuses on almost all the time in the meditations is like, okay, well, where is this observation coming from?
Yep.
And then he would say something to the effect of, well, this is like, this thought that I'm having is not distinct from any of these other experiences that I'm having. It's all just arising in consciousness. And who is this I that I'm thinking of? This I that I'm feeling and thinking of is just a feeling that like, oh, is it like right behind my eyes, or it is in my head, or is it here in my chest, that I feeling? That's also just something appearing in consciousness. It's all the same. It's not distinct from this fucking set of AirPods as far as my mind is concerned. All just things appearing in consciousness. So go look for that. Go look for the person that's thinking. I'm like, cool. All right, that sounds kind of meta. And I'm like, and by then I'm like, I'm not even thinking about.
Yeah, it's like, who is it? Who am I?
Exactly. It's like, whoa. If that's too painful or not working, or it turns into like a rumination.
Yep.
Just sitting in it and soaking in it. Okay, maybe it's time to switch gears.
Yep.
So I don't want to build momentum into this like, oh, I'm such a fat piece of shit. And like that's like happening over and over and over again. Okay, maybe I'm not skillful enough in this moment to go the feeling it and coursing through me route. Well, what else can I do? And that's purposeful distraction, one of my faves as well. There's a pro and a con there, right? Yeah. So the pro is, if I know what I like to do and what feels good, like if I'm out with my buddies, okay, I can like, all right, there's the thought, I can become aware of it. I'm going to focus on having fun with my friends right now. And that's it. And see if I can feel good doing that. Or I'm going to take a hot bath, or I'm going to do this other thing, or I'm going to go see a movie, or I'm going to do the other thing, or whatever it is, right? The downside there is that I can use that almost like I would use a drug, right? Where I'm like, oh, I'm going to go like feel something else. I don't want to feel this right now. I'm going to go feel something else. I don't want to feel this right now. I'm going to go feel something else. So there's intention behind it. The intention is really important. It's like, you know what? I'm going to chill. I did this just the other day. I was like, I'm not feeling too hot. I'm gonna take a hot bath and listen to some ASMR in the hot bath. And I was like, that was a pretty sweet move. That was a solid move. I highly recommend it.
I actually did find some Japanese ASMR.
I was just gonna fucking ask you if it was Japanese. I was like, it had to be Japanese ASMR.
Yeah. No, but I did find some, and it's useful.
It's awesome. Look, if it feels good, fucking do it. Like that's the end of the story. And they're like, well, but Andrew, cocaine feels really good. Should I go do some of that? I'm like, I mean, if you're looking for how I'm wrong here, we've gotten off the wrong track. By all means, go do cocaine. It feels really good.
For like not that long.
And then an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours the next morning, depends on how much cocaine you're doing. let me put it this way. When I come out of my hot bath, I feel amazing, and listen to ASMR, I feel great. And that just flows into the rest of my day. Doing some cocaine also feels good. And then I want to kill myself. So that's a pretty good indicator of the feeling goodness, right?
Yeah, it's the and people talk about this all the time with like diet and exercise. It's the short-term feel goods versus the long-term feel goods, I think. Like, and I'm in a place where more often than not, I'm looking for the long-term ones. Yeah, as often as possible.
Food is a fun one because like it is both enjoyable and is completely healthy and nourishing. Right? And I can go overboard to where I'm like I'm like hurting my body by going overboard. I was like, all right, but if I'm just relaxed, eating, nourishing my body, it's like, oh, this is pretty great. And like food is like, here's this wonderful thing that's designed to make us feel good and keep us healthy. Oh,
yeah. It's the great paradox is I feel the healthiest I've ever felt, and I'm also thinking about it the least I ever thought about it.
Yeah, I don't want to be obsessed with shit, man. I don't want to be obsessed with my fucking body and like, oh, like, is this like the right shape or what? Like, oh my God, no one cares, dude. No one cares. No one cares nearly as much as I do. It's like, oh, what if like this was like 1 millimeter like this? Have you ever looked at like before and after pictures of cosmetic surgery?
No, I haven't actually.
Do yourself a favor and just look at them. The vast majority of them, I'm like, you spent $15,000 for like a 5% enhancement in like this one thing. Some of them are like, oh my God, holy shit, that's like good for you. I'm glad you did that. So like an example of that would be like a cleft palate surgery or something like that. Like by all means, and I'm not discouraging anyone you want to get fucking cosmetics, go fucking do it. Get good, knock your fucking. But it's like looking at like a tummy tuck or like I don't know, anything. Look at some liposuction. Go look at it and be like, wow. And it's like 20 grand for this or 5 grand for that or 10 grand for like this marginal improvement. And like I took my bump that was like this and then I moved that bump and now it's like this. No one cares except for you. That's it.
Well, and you just don't ever know, man. There's a guy I train jiu-jitsu with, one of my favorite people at the gym, and like bigger dude. But he's lost like 130 pounds. And like, I had no idea. So there were times where I would like look at him and be like, oh, he's so squishy, or, oh, he's still kind of chunky. He's like, yeah, dude, I used to be 370 pounds. This is always going to be there because I'm not going to pay to get my skin removed. And so it was a really pertinent reminder of, I just don't ever know what someone else's subjective experience has been. And to like check that shit at the door.
Yeah, if I'm ever like judging or evaluating other people's bodies, it's like time to kind of like take a look at myself.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, I see that.
100% for sure. My treadmill is starting to smell, so I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to just stand. So, dude, let's get into a resentment.
Let's do the thing. Share my screen. Desktop number 2. Captain Planet, man.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. A resentment against Captain. This will be fun. Captain Planet. He's the hero.
I mean, it's a joke.
It's a joke. Oh, darn. I thought it was the legit Captain Planet.
Dude, Captain Planet's a great guy.
I was like, oh, man, we're going to get into it. All right. Okay.
No, Captain Planet's dope. I actually, I don't think I've ever seen that show. This is like slightly before my time, but I'm familiar with the memes that have come.
Fantastic show. Great show. It is definitely before your time because I was watching that when I was a kid. Definitely 10 years before your time. I would love if they rebooted Captain Planet. That would be amazing.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't, actually, of all the things that have gotten some new life breathed into them.
Well, basically, everyone's a bender of some kind. Yep. And before Avatar was a thing, there was Captain Planet, and you had Earth, Fire, Wind, Water, and the shittiest one, which they tried to sell you was the most awesome one. They were like, this is actually the most awesome power, but I was like, I'd much rather be able to like command like air and fire. And they were like, heart. And that was it. And there was this Indian kid who had the power to control heart, which was like, you could move animals and stuff to to help you. It was basically like Aquaman, but for all animals.
Okay. I mean, kind of dope, but I would way rather throw fireballs around.
Yeah, like when I'm a fucking 8-year-old kid, I'm like, I want to shoot fireballs out of my hands. Yep. But they're like, no, heart is the most important. I'm like, I don't know about that. Yeah. Not too sure about that one.
The best dreams I ever had as a kid were the ones where I thought I could like control the force or had like fire bending or something like that. I was like, no, I don't ever want to wake up. This is the best. This is the best. Anyway, this is a resentment towards a woman I was dating. This is that girl who worked at Gaia with me.
All right. Well, Annette, sorry for publicizing this resentment towards you to the entire
I'm actually
world.
Really not that sorry.
Again, this is really a judgment. The fun thing about these is it's never a judgment on the other person.
Never.
This part is, but the entire purpose of this whole thing is to realize and take accountability for like, this is my resentment.
Yep.
If this was a subreddit and it was am I the asshole? The answer would always be yes. Like I am the asshole at all times.
It's just I am the asshole. There is no am I. The resentment is Annette for thinking recycling makes her a better person. And the story is, you go, Captain Planet. You're making a tremendous difference over here with your cardboard. Never mind the fact that you're miserable and tell anyone who will listen about it and have no idea who you want to be or what you want to do in this life. If you just recycle enough, I'm sure the answers will come and the suffering will end. I'm sick of you talking about this incessantly and judging me for not recycling every little thing or not wasting my money on reusable Ziplocs or whatever other biodegradable bullshit you can come up with this week. The story. And the facts: Annette believes in recycling and does it often.
I mean, do you know that she believes in recycling?
Well, I guess it could be a fiction, but
so you're making sure to is there something that she did with you specifically, or was it literally just her act of recycling?
It was me and others around her. It was like, you know how like you hang out with a vegan and the first thing you find out about them is that they're a vegan kind of idea?
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, so as an example, it's like, did you like place something not in recycling? And then did she either not saying something or saying something, pull it out in front of you and put it into recycling?
That happened multiple times, both with myself and other people. There's like the reusable Ziplocs was a specific example. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but they're like
all Ziplocs are reusable.
Well, yeah, they're like $30, and they're like,
talk to any hippie, any Chinese family, and they will tell you all those Ziploc bags are reusable.
Well, true, but there is like a bougie $30 a bag kind of brand that has marketed themselves on being the reusable ones. And she, like, if you didn't have those, you were part of the problem.
So what I'm trying to get at is a specific scenario that represents this resentment, rather than the general cycles.
Yeah, there's really not like a one time this happened. It was just like a continual buildup. This got brought up so many times. It was annoying as fuck.
Well, got brought up so many times? What was brought up so many times?
Literally any other human being on this planet who was not participating in her version of greenifying the earth. It became like a judgment point.
Oh, could you give me an example of a judgment that she did?
No, I can't think of like one specific one. I just
No?
remember this being like a pervasive feeling all the time.
So there was never an explicit action that Annette did that was like, Jordan.
Yeah.
And then like that act of like moving the thing from the thing, or like,
No.
Jordan, do you know? Okay, this was
No.
so okay. So then I'm confused. How do you know that she was all about recycling?
It was never a like specific event towards me. It was just like a general dialogue all of the time of like, oh, look at this new recyclable thing I bought. I'm better than the people who don't do that. Like,
great. Okay, so she's advertising
yes,
her virtue
yes,
in recycling
yes,
consistently.
whilst
At the
then
office.
continuing to complain about how much her life sucks.
Got it. So could you give me an example of a time that she like advertised her virtue via recycling?
Yeah, it was the reusable Ziplocs one. She came in talking. It was like this, like, oh, I just spent all this money on all these reusable Ziplocs, but now I don't have any money left for like the next 3 weeks, and like I'm just penny pinching, but it's worth it because I'm sad and I'm saving the planet.
Got it. And there was no. And then what would happen if you did not do something like that?
Oh, I mean, there would be like, I don't know, a stern look, probably. There was never like a, if you don't do this, you're part of the problem. It was more like a suggestion, like, oh, you guys should all buy these things.
So it was inferred by you that you are the problem if you are not doing this.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make clear on that one. Cool.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how can we just make this facts?
There
we go.
Yeah, I think I'll leave it there.
That's a fact.
Yep.
There we go. And why is like Annette thinks that recycling is good, not a fact?
Oh, because I don't know that truthfully.
We have no idea why she bought these reusable Ziploc bags. She could not believe in it at all and just wants to look cool.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right. I remember there's a developer friend of mine who the woman who turned out to be his wife on the first date, she was a vegetarian, and he was like, oh yeah, I am too. Not a vegetarian at all. And just carried that through the whole relationship until one day he was like, by the way, I was not a vegetarian. I just said that to get you to like me. It was like, you don't know what person's motive. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Right? You have no
That's
idea.
a really good point. Oh, that's awesome.
And we never do. So that's a really quick way whenever someone's doing something I don't like, a really quick and easy dishonesty one, which I almost don't even give credit for, is like, I don't actually know what this person is thinking, or why they're motivated to do a thing. I have no idea. It's a story that I'm making up in my head. Can I make reasonable guesses? Of course you can.
Yeah.
Of course we can. We do that all day long. But it's not a fact.
Yeah. Facts they are not.
Okay. So Annette buys some reusable Ziplocs, among some other actions she may have taken, like placing things into recycling like a good human being, even though recycling plastic is a giant scam.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does this affect your personal relationship? So how does Annette acting like I'll just say virtue, like environmental virtue signaling, affect your personal relationships?
Yeah, I think this one might be hard to say specifically on this example. I think it was more broadly speaking, like at Gaia, me being the odd one out who's like not, oh, let's go save the planet all the time.
I think that's fair. I think that's a good one.
Yeah,
I think that's a good one.
For me, it was like, I'm just doing my best not to roll my eyes perpetually. Please don't leave me to be alone.
Exactly. It's like, I feel like I'm the other here. For sure. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, sexual relationships, we were doing the thing. Like, want to keep that around. And like these godforsaken fucking there's a whole resentment just about these reusable Ziplocs, because like Afton was obsessed with them too. They like keep following me places.
I feel like this one maybe should have been started with the reusable Ziplocs. I think maybe that's the resentment there.
Oh God, fucking hate those things. Fucking hate those things. It's like, oh, am I ever gonna have sex with someone who's not telling me about how great their reusable Ziplocs are? I don't know if I am.
Well, yeah, don't work in Boulder, and you'll be. Go move to Colorado Springs, man. Well, I don't think you'll have any problems there. So, all right. Pride.
Pride. It's like, oh, I am not the good person here. I can't run around saying like, oh, look at me, I'm doing all these good things for saving the planet.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like, no, let me stare at your eyes while I throw this in trash, even though it's recyclable. Self-esteem. It's like, even if it's not being said directly, it's like, oh, you're worse than we are for not doing this. That's like, oh, that feels.
You are less than.
Yeah.
You have again. Yeah. The environmentalism is a virtue. You lack the virtue. You are less than, not as good. For sure. I can feel it. Hold on to that. Think about ambitions. Talk to the camera. Talk to the folks, the studio audience. I got to pee like a racehorse. I'll be right back.
Cool. Yeah. So for the studio audience involved, ambitions, and just to like define that, I think we've maybe done it before, but it's basically like expectation works really well here too. This is the vision I have for how the situation's supposed to work out. And so for me, it's like, I have an ambition of being around other people and dating other people that make me feel really good. And don't judge me for not participating in the giant scam that is recycling plastic. And an ambition could be anything from like, oh, I want this promotion. I want this promotion really, really, really bad. And then you don't get it, right? And it's like, oh, that feels pretty shitty. Or, whatever else. It can be a lot of things. But yeah, the ambition here is I want to be able to work and be surrounded by people that help me feel good and don't. I try not to use like the negative form of something for an ambition. Like my ambition isn't to like avoid discomfort or in some way. I was actually speaking to the audience for you. I filled the space quite nicely.
I'm sure it was fantastic.
Oh, it was basically like defining ambition, because I think that was another area that we like throw this around and we don't always talk about like what it means in the scope of what we're doing.
Yeah, what'd you say?
It's like, I think it's very synonymous with expectation in a way, but it's like my ambition for this situation is for this particular set of things to happen or not happen, but I try to avoid the like inverse ambition, I guess.
Yeah, I almost want to change it to expectations, but I'm just not, because that's how it was taught to me.
Yep. I think it's more consumable as expectation, or like that clicks for people more easily.
It definitely does. I'm actually fine with changing it to expectations. I think that's a much better word, and I always end up just defining it as expectations anyway. And yeah, it's like I have an expectation of some behavior, some outcome, something happening, and then that expectation is not met.
Yep.
And then resentment ensues. I feel like everyone is familiar with something like that happening.
Yep. Yeah, I think like, I know for me, when I first saw ambition, it's like, oh, it's like my get up and go is in danger. Like my desire to accomplish things is in danger. Which like definitely was a thing earlier on in this.
That's almost pride. Right?
Yeah.
Because those are your like the doing of things.
Yeah. Yep.
It was like, oh, I thought we were gonna go to the store in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
A great one I think every relationship has is like, I thought she would be ready within 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it is now 3.5 hours later. I am very hungry. So it's everyone's experienced it, and it's a hotbed. Like this is, I think, one of the most common ones.
Yeah.
That it's also really easy for people to understand. So
Yeah.
okay. And what was the expectation here?
Yeah, I have an expectation of being around people that feel good to be around and like support me for who I am, not like.
Well, what expectations of Annette's behavior did you have?
Oh yeah, don't fucking waste your money on reusable Ziplocs. No, like more specifically,
that's like almost too specific, which I am reluctant to say, but what else?
I have an expectation that I'm not going to be around people who are just virtue signaling all the time.
I want to dig even deeper. I think it's deeper than that.
Okay, so it's like, too specific, but not.
I want it not like that's fine.
Yeah,
it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
So it's not a specificity; it's a matter of accuracy.
Yeah, I think I have an expectation of not being judged for who I am and like what I choose to do.
Very close. Very close. Yeah, I'll let that go. I think that's a good one. Yeah. Okay. And then pocketbook?
Yeah. These fucking Ziplocs are expensive, man. I got other things to spend $30 on. But if I don't spend the money, apparently I'm not going to be liked. Maybe I have to be.
Yes. There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Fantastic. Selfishness. Let's get into it.
I was really proud of this one, even if it's not accurate. I found the wording to be really amusing. So I'll crusade in on my anti-environment punk rock high horse so that I can feel better about myself not being a better person.
I think that's really cute and funny. I want to go even more here. What is selfish about this resentment?
It's like, I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. It's like, I'm consumed by how other people are behaving versus like my own behavior.
Yes, exactly. Close. And then how should they be acting?
They should be acting the way that I want them to.
Bingo, there's the selfishness. Exactly. Bingo. That's the selfishness, right? You're behaving this way. I feel sad. You're making me feel this way. Change the way you're acting so I can feel different.
Yep.
That's a very common one. I think we've all experienced that one, and that's super hard. It's super hard to get other people to go act other ways so that you can go feel better. That's a real tough one. One, because that's not where feeling better comes from. It doesn't come from how other people act. So that's going to be tough. So even if you get them to shift and change, you're still going to be miserable because you have the root cause. Oh, such a bitch. And then I spent all this effort getting you to change, like act differently. Now you're acting differently. And I still feel like shit. What's going on? No. But that's great. We're getting closer. We're going to feel really good. Once I understand that, life gets a lot easier.
Yeah. Just as a really short diatribe, I want to share a personal experience with that exact sentiment. It's like when Afton and I first separated, and then we were kind of like doing the like, we're not together, but we're kind of together thing. And like trying to figure out what that was.
Mm-hmm.
I got to watch her. She's like, oh, she's doing all the things that I was hoping she was going to do. And she's like interested in these things and she's trying super hard. And it's like, oh, no, still feels bad. Still not working.
Very common in relationships.
Yep.
Very common.
Yep.
Very, very common. It's like, oh, this person just got to change like this way, and then everything will be solid, and I'll be solid. Good luck. Have fun. You're about to learn a lot. I'm happy for you. All right, dishonesty.
Yep. Yeah, I don't actually love this one, but it was here when I first wrote it.
Read it out regardless.
Annette believing in recycling prevents her from accepting responsibility for her life or for developing any further. Having a cause to believe in is only used as a way to avoid other things. I'm a bad person for not trying harder to protect the environment. I can force other people to change. Trying to protect the planet is always a waste. How other people should choose to spend their money is up to me to judge.
I think these are great.
All right.
I think these are really good, actually. I don't know where this like, oh, these are bad. Like these are all fantastic lies that you're telling yourself. Those are all great.
Hey, thanks, man.
Those are all great. And let's go deeper.
I'm trying to see. There's like things that I do or buy determine my worth, or don't do. There's like something about like how other people behave. It's different than I can force other people to change. It's like how other people behave determines how I should as well.
I would add one verb to this. Close. What is the name of this what is the name of this video cast?
Feel good?
Yeah, exactly. And how other people behave determines how I should. I just gave it to you, by the way.
Yeah, feel good doesn't make sense to me.
That's not, it's only half of that.
Oh. How I should feel.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's another lie in here.
I don't think this is the one, but it's I will never be with someone who isn't an environment crusader.
We can dig into this one too. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm more yeah, oh, go ahead.
Not there is not enough. Do not have enough money to participate in these things.
And I want to go, I think, to the root of this, the root dishonesty. We're getting there. We're closer. We're
something like that. Like the way that I'm behaving is not okay. Like I will not be.
Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. What is like, so what causes discord when, or what story causes discord when other people are acting virtuously and then you are not acting virtuously?
Yeah. It's like, there's a belief that like I am bad.
Exactly. So it's like, I am less than these other more virtuous people.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly. Which distilled down to like something that we've said a billion times, I'm not enough, right? So it's just like, look at all these people behaving all nicely and good, like, and then I'm just a piece of shit over here. Like, yep. I think that's the root of it.
Yeah.
I think that's the rooty one of the root lie. And then what's the fear? So you're not enough, right? You're this less than piece of shit. What happens then?
Yeah.
That story being true.
So the fear, I'll keep
Look
typing.
at this, oh my God, it's literally the fear. I'm actually a bad person for not focusing on, look at that, it's right fucking there. I didn't like, look at that. Oh my, I wasn't even reading ahead. And there it was.
There it was.
So could continue, read that shit out.
Yeah, I'm actually a bad person for not being more focused on recycling or protecting the environment. All the women I'm with will be planetary zealots, which is just annoying as shit. I'll be trapped around things and people I don't find interesting or fulfilling forever. There's way more we can add here. I I like kind of cheated because this is it.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do any more.
Okay. Yeah, so like the stuff that doesn't work super well about this, like first and foremost, like we already said, it's I am not enough.
I like the I am bad. I like that.
Yeah.
That's like so the not enoughness is like the I am bad is like this qualitative assessment over you, and like you're just default.
Yeah.
You're just a piece of shit. I like that. It's very like I am bad is so simple.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And not in like the James Dean leather jacket kind of way. It's just like I'm just bad.
Yeah.
I'm so bad.
Yep.
I think I'm not enough still applies.
I agree. We should not put it down.
Other people, I'm going to be more things outside of me determine my worth. Actually, I'm not even going to say that. I think I like, well, that one's actually kind of true. I was going to say my behavior determines my worth. I guess that's not true, but.
No, that implies that if I do bad things, then I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
Right? And that is not true. That means I've done a bad thing.
Yep.
That I don't want to do, assuming I'm not a psychopath. Again, this all assumes I have a conscience, which I'm just saying that we'd like. I'm just knowing you that you have that. You wouldn't be doing this work.
Truth. I am alone. It's like other people aren't going to want to be around me if I'm not saving.
I love it. I love it.
Also, there is not enough. Like, I don't have the resources or the money to participate in these things. I can't have what I want.
Yep.
I must suffer for outcomes. Like I gotta participate in these things. And just for the icing on the cake, I think there's this too.
I think that you're getting pretty good at this.
Hey, thanks, man.
So yeah, solid. Great work.
Yeah.
Really solid stuff. Anything else for me?
Not that we really have time to get into.
Well, what if we did have time to get into it?
Just money stuff. Just talking about like, oh, I already know what I want to do. It's like refocus on the YNAB, follow the rules that I'm creating for myself. And
be more specific. What money stuff?
Yeah, I was choosing to spend money in a way that doesn't feel very good for a while.
Be specific. What were you doing?
Not really following my budget at all.
Okay, and so what did you do?
Yeah, went out to eat a lot. Spent money on. I like haven't looked at the reports. That's what YNAB is so great for, right? It's like knowing what I spent my money on, and I'm consciously choosing not to look at it. And there's like objective stuff that came up, right? Like Hattie's surgery was super expensive. Some stuff to get ready for the house to sell was expensive. But it was all stuff I could have planned for and chose not to, which doesn't feel very good. So I'm super glad I learned.
These were all blips, okay?
Yep.
They're all blips.
Yep.
All right, and YNAB is not about, like, what I love about it is like they don't expect perfection.
Yeah.
None of the work that we're doing expects perfection.
Yeah. That's
a recipe for disaster. Like, my budget is there to serve me. I'm not there to serve my budget.
Yep.
This is not some like if I do not commit to this 110%, I am a complete piece of shit that doesn't deserve financial well-being. It's about how I'm feeling. And like what's great about YNAB is it will like totally aligns with my emotional. And if I go off the rails, like I'm gonna feel it. And I'm like, that doesn't feel very good. Like I don't like, ugh. But here's what's great is that you make tons of money.
Yep.
And all I do is like, oh, I make more money 2 weeks from now. And then I go and save that money. And it's all blips. The emotional guidance system is so great for this.
Yeah. Right? And that's all it was. It's like, I know this, okay, this feels bad. I want to not do this anymore.
Exactly. It's like, I don't really feel like doing that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and not. And then other times, I spent that money and it was fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
Like, I went up to Northern California like a couple months ago and stayed at a bed and breakfast and rented a car or flew someone out to come visit me. It's like those all were like unexpected expenses, but I don't regret them. That's why I have money, is to do stuff that I want to do. That's why it exists. Otherwise, it's just for this inert thing just sitting there.
Yep.
It's meant to be, money is a lever that I get to use. Yep. And I get to focus this stream wherever I want it to do what I want in my life. And that's also why I save. So that when that's the thing does arise, I can go ahead and just go do that. I don't even have to think about it. Like, I'm probably moving in January to somewhere else.
Do you know where yet?
I have not said yet. And once it's actually in the fucking books,
okay,
I'll talk about it for sure.
All right.
But it's like, that's going to cost money. It's going to cost thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
That's a blip. It's like, I'm like, that's all, the money's already there. Yeah. And I can go wherever the fuck I want. And so the only thing I don't want to do is like kind of pack and organize and actually move with the stuff. I don't want to do any of that. But that's a whole different, that's not related to this. Well, it is, but it's not. So yeah, man, we can talk about it more for sure. By all means, we can always just do an ad hoc, like impromptu kind of thing as well about money if you're ever feeling stuff and you're good about reaching out like in the middle of the week too. So great work. Really chugging along, man. You're really getting this stuff. You're really getting it. Really, really good. You're even like, oh, this isn't that great, but it was good stuff. That was all solid work, solid resentment work.
Thank you, sir. I've had a pretty stellar teacher.
You do. It's you. You are. That's who you are, and you're teaching now. So it's like it'll just get easier and easier. All right, man.
Yeah, go pick some heavy shit up.
I will. Take care. Bye.
Peace.